Hello, and welcome to Songs for the Struggling Artist, the blogcast. My name is Emily Rainbow Davis, and I have a favor to ask of you. And I'm doing it now since you might be by your desk or something, since you just turned on the podcast. Would you go to my website and sign my mailing list? Because I just started one. And so far, I'm the only person on it. So I'm trying to see if it's working and how to do it. I have been advised that having a personal mailing list is a good idea. Up until this point, I've pretty much only had a mailing list for my theater company. And that's not the same as just me, because I do a lot of other things besides the theater. As you know, you're listening to one of them. So if you wouldn't mind, if you would appreciate being emailed some updates on what I'm up to occasionally, and by occasionally, I mean once a month. I'm not going to become an emailing queen. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I am not a fan of the emails. But I do want to do a better job of letting people know what the heck I'm doing. So, if you would, go to emilyrainbowdavis.com and a little pop-up is going to pop up. Just put your email in there. That's really all that is required for this particular favor. Just put your email in the pop-up if you want. Thank you. So, now on to today's blog, which is the first one I have ever received applause for on Medium. So I try and remember to repost every blog onto Medium. I'm not sure why, but I feel like I should. And I sometimes will get, the way that they don't do likes on Medium, it's applause. So sometimes they will get some applause from people I know, but I got something on this post from someone I do not know. So there you go. It is called, If She's Not Shooting Fire from Her Fingers, I Don't Want to See It. I was once a voracious watcher of movies and television. When I was a preteen, I would go to films even if I was pretty sure I wouldn't like them. I saw whatever I could get my eyes on. TV, too. I'd watch any old thing. There was always something to learn. As time has gone by, I am much more discerning in what I put in front of my eyeballs. I am picky about what I watch and will abandon anything that isn't doing the job. I think that may have something to do with age and a desire not to waste my increasingly precious time. But in the last few weeks, I have become even pickier. I need my viewing to be medicinal in some way. I want it to help me through the current moment. And there's not a lot that will do that. What's interesting to me, though, is how clear it is what will do the job. I need it to star women, preferably with magical powers, in positions of authority. I want witch stories. I want women in charge with men at their mercy. What I've run into, though, is how little of this sort of story there is. In fact, I've already seen most of the things that would fit the bill. I'm exploring a wider and wider range of what will satisfy me. Why, oh why, is it so hard to find a show where a lady sets people on fire? Won't anyone give me what I need? In my search, though, I have found some things I didn't know I needed. The Worst Witch is a show for young people, and while so far no one's been set on fire, I'm finding that seeing a witch school for girls with an all-female staff means, after watching 3 episodes, there was only one man on screen for less than 20 seconds. I did not know I needed this, but I did. It is an all-girl world, and in it, the girls are learning to become authoritative. "Do you know what a witch does?" asks one teacher. "Spells?" guesses the struggling student. "Broomstick flying? Wears a pointy hat?" She bends the world to her will. Oh my God, I need to learn how to do this. Someone sign me up for witch school immediately. But what's funny is the actual line was not she bends the world to her will. In trying to remember this scene for the blog, I made that up. Because that is what I want witching to be, because it is what I want. Actual line? A witch makes things go her way. Yeah, it's nice, but not quite as powerful as I need, apparently. I need to watch women bending the world to their wills, whether it is through magic or some other means. Oh, what other means are there? My needs are so specific right now and so underserved. I want a world full of women, but I stopped watching Orange is the New Black because I cannot watch all those women completely disenfranchised, trapped, and unable to exercise real power. I want women with magical powers because I want women with power. Will the Charmed reboot serve me as well as the old one did? I think so. I've seen 2 episodes so far, and before they even discovered their magical powers, one of the Charmed ones punched an MRA dude in the face. So this show won me over quickly. However, so far, the new Charmed ones have not set anyone on fire the way the old ones did, and this will need to change. Pronto. I got to see a few episodes of the TV adaptation of A Discovery of Witches, and while there is one very satisfying fire circle, one deadly circle of fire is not enough circles of fire for me. I need 99% more fire circles. I have never been that interested in violence in film and TV. I generally look away and plug my ears, but I suddenly understand the desire for it. Why are these characters talking when they could be shooting fire out of their fingers? So, if you have any shows to recommend that fit this very specific bill, I would very much appreciate it. I imagine someday I'll be ready to watch something besides women shooting fire again, but that moment has not yet arrived. So send me your pyrokinetic witches, please. The one thing this post did not generate is additional pyrokinetic witches, which is very sad. I think I may have seen all of the witches that have the ability to shoot fire out of their hands. That's all right. I did learn the word pyrokinetic from Googling which Charmed one has the ability to shoot fire. But apparently none of them. I was very confused. But there's I feel like I've seen even GIFs of what's her name? Piper shooting fire out of her fingertips. So I guess it was not a regular power, just occasionally. Yeah, but pyrokinesis was mentioned as an ability that perhaps a demon could have. Anyway, that I went really down deep into the Wikipedia of Charmed for a while. Yeah. But pyrokinesis is a very useful word, and we all can figure out what it means, right? You move fire. Pyrokinesis. Even though it's a made-up Charmed word, it kind of works, I feel. Yeah. So, those are my needs. Thank you for listening to them. Apparently I'm not alone. So, before I give you the song for the day, which, by the way, is Light My Fire by The Doors, because of course it is, I'm toying with, there's this little button now. Anchor is doing this thing where they are trying to connect podcast makers with sponsors. And they basically are we'll find you an advertiser. You can then read the copy, and then they give me money. Which I'm not, I'm on the fence about, as you might imagine. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do about that. Because, I do need to make some money. But I feel like sponsorship is not perhaps ideal. It may be more ideal to be sponsored by actual, patrons and such via Patreon or whatever. But I am wrestling with that possibility at the moment. So just heads up, if there appears a little ad on the podcast at some point, it is because I have gone the way of advertising. Not without a lot of wrestling. So just that's a thing in the future. So Light My Fire, right? So what's interesting about this song is, and this is something I didn't realize was a thing in pop music in general, but so I was learning it, and I realized that the chorus is lower than the verse. That is, the verse finishes and then he drops rather than going up. And I didn't realize that it was a sort of unspoken, familiar pattern that the verse starts here and then the chorus jumps up a couple steps and then you go back down for the verse, etc. And this song is the opposite, which I thought, oh, see, okay, I'm coming around to the Doors. I've never been into the Doors at all, but it is an interesting kind of reversal of the usual pop music pattern, and I had never noticed that before. There may be other songs that are equally sort of contrary that way, but I certainly haven't noticed them before. So that's a little something about Light My Fire by the Doors. And I don't think there's anything else to tell you about this except for it was kind of fun to mess around with. I may not be a fan of the Doors, but this song was super fun, especially because, of course, I was imagining witchery, guys, witchery. So here it is, Light My Fire by the Doors.
If I was to
If I was to